am aligned with everything that my heart desires. Friend, have you ever felt like you were doing everything right? Like everything was doing what it should be doing, but somehow something felt off. Like something just wasn't hitting with everything that was going on. Well, if you have, today's episode is for you. We're going to talk about finding peace in alignment. Because alignment isn't about perfection, okay? It is about knowing and being present with your purpose. Are you ready? Get set. Let's grow. Hey, welcome back to another episode of From the Ground to the Crown, a podcast community where we grow with intention, elevate our mindset, and step into our highest selves unapologetically. I'm your girl, your host, Kenesha B, and as always, so grateful that you are here with me. I just got back from a retreat in Bali and I'm feeling hella energized, skin bronzed, body is aligned, all the greatest things. And today's episode is a product of what I've learned and experienced over the past week. Shout out to Dr. Sana for hosting the Detached with Dork retreat. I will put a link to where you can find Sana and all the things that she does in this episode. It is because of the experience that I had this week that I have more confidence in talking my talk and sharing all the things with you. Like I said in the intro, today's episode is about being aligned. The card from the Hey Friend Hey card deck, the affirmation for today says, friend, hard work, rest, awareness, and balance keep you in alignment. And being aligned allows people, places, and opportunities to support you. The affirmation again is, I am aligned with everything that my heart desires. And today's ism is, peace is the proof. Really quickly, y'all, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about being extraordinary and how just by being born and alive and breathing makes you extraordinary. And so this episode is going to piggyback off of that because when you're in alignment, you actually do feel extraordinary. You don't have to hear it from anything outside of you because you truly own it within your being. I also want to share a quick story with y'all. I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and she's a beautiful soul. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mom. She's a wife. She is one of those girls. And although life is good for her, although business is booming for her, something felt hella off. And I'm so proud of her for calling it out and for reaching out because we jumped on the phone together. We were on the phone for literally an hour and 11 minutes. And I looked at it because, of course, numerology is going off, right? And as we talked, I just reminded her and confirmed for her that as long as you have peace, know that you're in alignment. As long as you feel good within yourself, you are controlling the things that you can control, and you are at peace with all the shit that you can't control, you are in alignment. And so again, today's episode is just more confirmation that she is not alone out there, that there are times in life where you will be doing all of the things and something will still feel a little uneasy for you. And that's cool. It won't always be comfortable. But if you are present with your purpose, you are in alignment. Okay, so let us get straight to it. I just want to say that the greatest misconception I think I've ever just realized, the epiphany for me was that thinking that I'm in control is equal to safety. Like, how dare I, a mere mortal, think that I am controlling something and that in itself makes me safe from life's woes. That is the greatest misconception. It is so untrue. You are not in control of so many things. You're just not. You don't control your heartbeat. You don't control breathing while you sleep. You don't control this spinning ball in space. We're not in control of so many things. And that in itself should allow us all to have faith that there is something greater at play, keeping us here, alive, well, and moving. And if you can accept that notion, then let's keep vibing. So let's get straight to the Root and Rise episode. Welcome to Root and Rise. If this is your first time here, this is the part of the podcast where we take a thought that once had us stuck, dig into the root of it, and elevate it to a crowned perspective. So as we talk about alignment, let's get into what misalignment is. That is the root of this, right? Here are some symptoms for misalignment. Feeling drained despite achieving. You might be doing all the work and it just isn't feeling refreshing. It doesn't rejuvenate you. It's just really pulling from your spirit. Constant confusion, self-doubt, and indecision. If you are doing things and you are tiptoeing about everything, friend, that's a sign that you're not aligned. It just is. Over-explaining your worth or decisions. I don't know how many times I've heard people say what they want, confirm what it is, and still add a lot of razzle-dazzle to the decision. If it is what it is and that's what you want, let it be. But if you're not in alignment, then that's when that confusion and that self-doubt will creep in and start to have you second guessing whether you made the best decision for yourself. Again, a sign of misalignment. Also, clinging to things and people, let's be honest, right? Clinging to things that no longer fit your life. I talk about this all the time, about the amount of people I've had to just let go of. Unwillingly, let go of people that were once in my tribe. Family, friends, places. I had to let the U.S. go. I had to get out of there because it didn't fit anymore. And as much as I wanted to make it work, if it don't feel good, I don't do it. And so I moved. It was simple like that. I made a lot of decisions to do it, but I did it. And if I would have stayed, I know that I would have been out of alignment and I would have paid ridiculously for it. A few other things that also are symptoms of misalignment are emotional, spiritual, and physical burnout. You taking the spiritual baths, you're doing a prayer meditations, breath work going crazy, you doing yoga, Pilates, you herbs out the wazoo, and it still don't feel good. Misalignment. Stop thinking that you can cover up misalignment with herbs and spirituality. It don't work like that. Also, people love to drown themselves in vices to cover up when they're not in alignment. Smoking weed too much, out drinking every day, you being a hookah girl going crazy, okay? Those are things and vices that people love to use and introduce you to so that it can diminish what spirit is telling you. You can feel when you're not in alignment. It literally is a nudge that you can't explain, but you're like something, just, like it's not giving, right? And that is your spirit telling you that you are not in alignment. You're not being present with your purpose. And lastly, another symptom and sign that you're not in alignment is ignoring your intuition and overcommitting the shit that you don't want to do. Feeling obligated. What I should be doing is not the same as what you need to be doing. Sometimes family, work, friends, whoever make you feel like you are obligated and you end up overcommitting. And you know what that does to you? That creates a cycle of self-sacrifice and self-betrayal. And that shit is costly. Let me tell you. Self-sacrifice cost you so much in the long run, because you will then have to do the work to trust yourself again, to trust your intuition again, to trust what you know is good for you again. And I don't know how long that takes. I don't know. But it doesn't happen overnight. I do know that much. And when you look back at it, you will be so disgusted that you didn't listen to yourself and that you ended up ignoring your intuition and overcommitting out of obligation. So take a look at some of these signs and symptoms that you are out of alignment, and look at where in life you might be doing some of these things to yourself. We're always doing it to ourselves if we're being accountable, right? And as we shift to the rise segment, write it down and really identify, all right, shit, I might be out of alignment at work because I told them I would do this thing, I would take this training, I would go to this workshop or conference, and it just does not feel good. Okay, I had a conversation with my man, and, I really said that I would move over there. I would move to Texas. I would move to wherever. And honestly, that does not feel aligned for me. Take a note of those things in your life, those areas, and let's work on it together. Because I'll tell you this. Misalignment feels like you're wearing someone else's shoes. Misalignment is tight and it's uncomfortable as hell. And it's not meant for the road, the path, your purpose in this life. And what you don't want to do is stay on a path of misalignment. Because when I tell you dragged is the theme, it might not happen overnight. But baby, you will get dragged. I want to share this analogy with you about just like higher level perspective on alignment. And I feel like I've said this before, but I'm running it back because y'all know I love a good visual aid. So alignment is understanding that. Have you ever seen when dominoes are like lined up? They're like, it's a lot of dominoes, right? And they're all, spiraled and all these things. And when you look at the dominoes set up from above, you recognize that it's like some image. You can't really see it, but it's making something. When you are not in alignment, you are stopping the domino image from being completed. You over here and everything else is over here. And you're just chilling. Well, the universe is set up for us to be interconnected. And so if you don't willingly get in alignment, dragged, you will be forced into alignment. And that shit hurts. It is so damaging to you if you have to be forced to get in alignment. And we're watching it every single day. So many people are all the way over here when they need to be here. And so when you do the things that are difficult and you make the sacrifices and you're honest and you communicate and you stop over explaining and you stop over committing and you tell people no, and you don't go where you're not supposed to go, and you don't talk to the people that don't fit your life anymore, you end up here. You end up in alignment. The dominoes are perfectly stacked. And then there's that magical thing that happens in your life where it tips one domino, and next thing you know, all of them are falling. And you look out, and you look at all the dominoes after they fall, and you see this beautiful, miraculous image, like greater than you could have ever thought for your life, has unfolded just for you. And you recognize that if you didn't do all those hard things, you would not have this beautiful image before you. That is alignment. Alignment is getting in line so that everything before you and everything after you can help and support your purpose in this world to create a bigger image. And everybody has an image. Everybody's image is interconnected. And you have to understand that when you're misaligned, you are not creating the image. You are slowing down the process, not just for yourself, but for all the things that are connected to your purpose. And you will get dragged for that. And so let's avoid the dragging, friends. Let's avoid it. Let's look at some reflection questions for the root segment of the episode. And let's be honest. Let's answer these things honestly for ourselves so that we get clarity in the areas that we actually need to be more aligned. I've got 3 for you today. The first question is, where in life do I feel out of sync or uneasy, even when I'm doing what I should? And I keep doing air quotes because, again, people will make you feel obligated to do what you should as a wife, as a mom, all these things, all these societal, whatever, misconceptions as to how we should be living our lives that go against the very nature of our spirit. And that is damning for you. And so look at where in life you feel out of sync. Maybe you can't explain it. You can't even put words to it, but it just don't feel right. And even though you are doing what you should be doing, call a spade a spade. Shit don't feel good. It just don't. I don't want to do that anymore. Ugh. Right? You just, ugh. No. I don't want to talk to them anymore. I don't want to go to that job anymore. Not because you're lazy, because you don't want to work, because you want to be a well-kept baddie, but because it's just really in your spirit, just does not feel good. Where is that? The second question is, what decisions am I making out of obligation? Again, I lived my earliest part of life feeling obligated as firstborn, first generation American. I feel like I had to grow up and hold on to so many things and uphold, this version of myself. And that almost cost me my goddamn life. Okay? Almost took me out at 20. Never again. Ask yourself, what decisions have you made recently and are currently making out of obligation? And the third question is, when have I ignored my inner voice and what did it cost me? Anytime I think about that, I think about my past relationship and how I knew like 2 months in that this was not the relationship for me. Well, I stayed in that relationship for like 4 years, like an idiot. Not an idiot. I had to learn a lesson, whatever. But that, man, it cost me so much of my safety, so much of my confidence. It cost me hella money, and I had to spend years in therapy making it back from that. And so ask yourself, when have you ignored your inner voice and what did it or is it costing you? And again, be honest, be transparent. It's not going to hurt you to call these things out, put words to what is going on in your life. It is only going to help you. And you're not by yourself because you got me. So as we marinate on those questions and reflect on what alignment is, let's step into the rise part of this. Let's step into alignment because that also feels really good. Here is what alignment feels like. Alignment feels like peace even in uncertainty. Like whatever is going on in the US right now is some bullshit. I'm going to call it out. It's bullshit. It's like a show. Have you seen Scandal? Yeah, Scandal. Okay? You just got to look at politics like Scandal because they already told us what it is. And so call bullshit and just whatever. You cannot control any of those things. You have to find peace even when things like that are going on in the world. You within yourself, within your life, within your home, within your family, like, your family, your immediate family, you have to find peace in there and create peace in there. And regardless of what is happening outside, not that you're not prepared or you're not in the know, but it's not impacting you. It's not making you unstable. Alignment is having peace even in uncertainty. It's also attracting opportunities. You become a magnet for the things that are connected to your purpose. Just by showing up and by being in alignment, that person reaches out. This brand wants to work with you. This job offer comes through in the nick of time. You get the contract that was taking 7 months just because you did this one thing differently. You become a magnet for opportunities. Alignment also feels like a sense of guidance and not just grinding. Like you feel like there's something bigger that is pulling you to make these decisions, to do this work, to do these things. And you're not just like work, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. You really do feel guided. Like you got some support. Like the ancestors are smiling down at you and being like, oh girl, thank you for the work. Here, here, here. You know? It feels like that. When you're in alignment, rest feels productive, not guilty. Like, take your ass to bed, girl, so that you could get up and be your best self tomorrow. And that doesn't feel like shameful. It feels like this is what I get to do. This is my pleasure. It is an honor to allow my body to reset itself so that I can show up and be my biggest, brightest, highest self. Alignment feels like that. Alignment also creates ripples, right? Because again, the domino display is not just you. There's a whole bunch of things before and after. And so it impacts your relationships, your results, and your spirit. When you say yes, when you are in alignment with the things that you are supposed to be doing, it is such a spirit boost. It's like working out a muscle. You're going to start looking good. You're going to be in the mirror like, okay, that girl's glowing. Okay, do you see me right now? Skin, crazy. Hair, growing, glowing. In alignment. When you're not in alignment, it get ugly. And not that you get ugly, but it gets ugly. I mean, your body is impacted first and foremost. Your like mental health is impacted. Your skin starts to do that weird thing where you're like, I don't even know where did that come from? Why is my hair a little straggly? Why is it so dry, right? This is what happens when you're out of alignment because the body is on, right? We talked about the meat suit. It's working. And so when you're not in alignment, it starts shutting down on you. Feeling tired, exhausted, hair starts to do weird things, skin always gonna tell you. Teeth hurt, just ear infection, these are all spiritual symptoms of misalignment. I don't make up the rules, babe. Okay, look it up. It's not me. It is spirit communicating with you. It's the body saying, hey, some shit is off. What are you doing? And it's a reminder to get back in alignment. Alignment also brings grounded clarity in divine timing. You will not always feel uneasy. At some point in time, you will feel grounded and good in your decisions and in the alignment that you have created in your life. And you have to have faith. You have to trust in the timing, have faith, and stay the course. Because when you're in alignment, even the detours are divine. Even when you feel like, I don't know, how the hell, what am I even doing? What is up? It's going to lead you to where you belong. It's going to lead you to the people that need you every single time. Just keep this frame at the top of your mind when you are navigating your life. The dominoes will fall. Whether it gotta drag you into position or not, you're gonna have to fall in line so that the whole beautiful image could be completed. And so again, think about the things that feel like alignment. Think about, the ripple effect that happens when you're in alignment. And it's not just a ripple effect with work or people, it's a spiritual ripple effect. Like when you do what your spirit is calling you to do, you grow so much more spiritually. You feel like, aha, I know what's for me. You start to talk to yourself internally and you get the downloads and the uploads and you sit in silence and you can see the life right before you and you manifest with clarity and ease. And it doesn't feel like you're fucking struggling. It doesn't feel like a struggle. It feels like supreme alignment. You feel like an alchemist, like a magician. You feel like a fucking fairy sometimes. Okay? That's how I feel. And I know I'm not alone because when I talk to my sister friends, when I talk to my bros, and when they are doing the things that they are supposed to be doing, they light up with ease. And I'm so excited to continue doing this work and meeting people who are ready to step in and light up with ease. Okay, let's talk about some reflection questions for the rise part of this episode. I've got 3 for you. The first one is, what choices bring me peace even when they're hard? Like I said, I had to stop talking to so many people. And those were the hardest conversations to have. Those were the hardest realizations and epiphanies to conclude. But when I cut them off, I ain't gonna hold you. If they watching this right now, I'm telling you, life got better. Okay? I made some more money. I don't know. It just got a little easier for me. Because I wasn't begging to be in alignment with things that are misaligned. I let it go and life started to flow. That happened. It's the truth. The second question is, how does my body respond when I'm in alignment? Again, look at your girl. Okay? Skin, hair, nails, even my nails are done. I never get my nails done and they look so good. Aligned. Losing weight, metabolism is on point. Hormone levels are balanced. Shit just is what it is when you're in alignment. It just works. And so think about when you're in alignment, what are some body cues that let you know you're on the right path? And the last question is, what decisions have brought unexpected clarity? Like, what have you come to? And as soon as you decided, as soon as you jumped, as soon as you said yes or no, instant, feel lighter. You're like, oh, that's why I had to do that. That's why. Again, you got in line, the dominoes fell, and now you can see the image. And you're like, duh, girl. Okay, that's why you needed to quit that job. Yeah? Think about it. And if you can hold on to those answers and continue to use those as reminders to stay in alignment, I promise you, life will be smoother than you can imagine. Not easy, because life is not easy, but smoother, right? Man, like I said, when you're in alignment, even the detours lead to your destiny, right? You trust in the timing, you have faith, you stay the course. You will see that peace is the proof when you are aligned. And you are extraordinary. You are doing what your soul craves. And when you do that, when you support the Most High in what He wants for our life, what she wants for our life, you just raise the vibration of this whole entire matrix that we're in. And you get rewarded for doing that work. Trust that the crown is waiting. Trust that there is a bigger image unfolding that you cannot see yet, but you will see it one day. And trust that you are doing the right thing when you're doing what feels good, when you're finding what feels good, when you're finding peace even in uncertainty. You are in alignment, beautiful friend. I want to leave you with this journal prompt before we go. And it asks, what area of your life is craving alignment? And what would it look like to trust your next step? If you have an answer, if you end up journaling it out and want to share, please drop it in the comments of today's episode. I would love to have a dialogue with you. Like I said, I'm so in love with my life right now. That retreat energized me. I'm on go. I'm on 10. And even when things get messy, when it looks messy, I understand that it's magical and that I'm on the right path for myself. And so I hope that you are not swayed by the messiness that comes before the magic happens. I hope that you stay the course even through all the bullshit that life will try to throw your way, and that you know that you got this and you are not alone. Again, today's affirmation is, I am aligned with everything that my heart desires. I love all of this. I love all of y'all. I have so many fun things coming up. Of course, I'm going to share here because this is my platform. I am planning my retreat for 2026. So excited about that shit. It's going to be so litty. Okay, so please stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to start having some podcast guests. Hey, I'm so excited about having people join me on this episode. and learning from them, learning about them, and talking to them about their experiences as they step into the highest version of themselves, unapologetically. Okay, beautiful people. I hope that this episode helped you recognize what is misaligned and aligned in your life. And I hope that it inspires you to keep doing the shit that you're doing that feels good, even when it's hard. That is alignment. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I know I don't talk about Spotify and Apple Podcasts a lot, but please, 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 if it's easier to do that, then subscribe to YouTube. I would love to interact with you there. And on Spotify, you can actually listen or watch the episode, which is really, really cool that they have that feature. Follow me on IG Threads at It's Kenesha B. And you can follow the podcast at To The Crown Pod. Again, that's the number 2, The Crown Pod. Leave a review of today's episode. Share this episode with someone who needs a reminder to get their ass in alignment. It's not the time to be playing, okay? 2025 is a 9-year in numerology. That means things are going to be wrapping up. And when you're in alignment, you understand that the right doors are opening and the wrong ones are closing. By flow or by force, we going to get it together, okay? So yes, leave a review, share this episode, tap in with the journal prompt, and let me know what area of your life is craving alignment and what it would look like to trust your next step. Until next time, if you are in my IG broadcast community, I'm going to drop a few cards. Let me know what the next episode should be. I'm excited for you to vote for the content that you want to hear. And if you're not in my IG broadcast channel, my intimate community, drop the word join, comment join in the comments so I can send you the link. And the link is in my bio on Instagram. All right, beautiful friends. I'm out of here.